guys, it's Umbra, your favorite pastel purple shadow princess, coming to you today with the long-awaited, much delayed Q&A video. Can we get a drum roll, please? I am so sorry this has been so delayed. I had a lot going on the past few days, and I am just excited to finally be able to sit down and record this and get this video out for you guys. So, the Q&A. If you guys have been following along, I have been doing Astra's 30-day content creation challenge. Last week, I put out a post announcing a Q&A. I gave you guys a little over a week to ask me any of your burning questions, and that is what we're going to get into today. I have all the questions right here. I'm going to try and go as fast as I can, but that is what we're going to do. Short little disclaimer, guys. If I didn't answer your question, it is because it wasn't something I was comfortable with sharing. I am only going to ever answer questions that I am comfortable with answering, and that was my little disclaimer for that. So without further ado, guys, let's get into these questions. All right, we are starting with our Twitter questions, and our first question from Trent was, who is your favorite musician? Okay, so if you know anything about me, I listen to a lot of music and a lot of different kinds of music, but I am terrible with like artists' names, the names of bands, the names of songs, all that stuff. I'm terrible with it. So I guess my way of answering this is I'll just tell you guys what I like listening to, and that'll be that. So I listen to a lot of pop punk. Pop punk is probably my most listened to genre, and my top bands within that category that I listen to a lot would be State Champs, Neck Deep, Blink-182, All Time Low, I Prevail. Basically anything related with like that and that kind of music, that's what I'm listening to almost 24/7. Although I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a Swiftie fan, but I have really enjoyed her Tortured Poets album that just released. So I've been listening to like a mix of those two. Twitter question is from Emmy, and Emmy asked, what was the character you had a crush on when you were younger? So the thing that instantly pops into my mind, so I'm just gonna go with it, and is, okay, so one of the very first animes that I ever watched, I've talked about this a lot, if you know, you know, was Inuyasha. And for a while, I had a crush on Inuyasha's older brother, Sesshomaru. I don't know why, just something about the vibes. That's that. Anyways, next question. Question is from Peachy, and Peachy asked, what is your favorite game of all time, and what is my comfort game of all time? So I am going to say my favorite game of all time is Pokemon Silver. Pokemon has had me in a chokehold since the very, very young age of my youth. That made no sense. Pokemon has had me in a chokehold since the very, very young age of. I love Pokemon. I'm obsessed with Pokemon. I've played almost every game, and I'm actually currently doing a playthrough of the few that I have not, which I'm super excited about. So, yeah, definitely my all-time favorite Pokemon game of all time is Pokemon Silver, hands down. As for my favorite comfort game of all time, this one has changed. So before I probably would have said Stardew, but I've been playing Coral Island for, I want to say, about a month now, and it has become my favorite comfort cozy game, like easily surpassing all the rest. It is just really well done. The art is beautiful. I love the style of it. I love all the little intricacies of it, all the little events. The NPCs are awesome, and I could just sink hours into that game. It's like my favorite cozy game to play right now. My next Twitter question is from Mystic Muffin. Mystic Muffin asked, if you could be friends with one game character, who would you be friends with? This one's a hard one. I'm not gonna lie, this one was hard for me, and Overwatch kept popping into my head, so I'm gonna go with my gut instinct on this one and just roll with Overwatch. But honestly, I would want to be friends with Ana. I mean, who wouldn't want to be friends with Ana? She's a badass sniper granny. I just think that I love her hero. She's one of my favorite heroes to play. I love the lore. Her lore is really interesting, and I don't know. I just think that she would be a awesome person to be friends with. I mean, who wouldn't want to be friends with Sniper. Our next Twitter question is from Mooney. Mooney asked, "What was the first game you ever streamed?" So some of you guys might not know this, but I actually started streaming 2 years ago. Back in 20. Well, it's almost 3 years ago because it was in the end of 2021, beginning of 2022. Uh, I took a really long break and I never fully like committed to it, so I don't really count it, but I will for this question. So the first game that I technically ever streamed was Stardew Valley 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago. Moving on to our next Twitter question, Sammy. Sammy asked, other than the Keyblade, which RPG weapon is your go-to? Coming in with the hard questions, guys. Again, this one's another one that's kind of difficult for me to answer. I play a lot of RPGs, but I don't play a lot of RPGs that have like weapons per se. But like, I guess if I was, and when I do, I always go for like magic builds. The Keyblade is like the most like weapon-esque type thing that I would use, but I guess if I'm gonna pick one, I always go for like some kind of mage, magic, that whole thing. So magic, I guess. All right, and that is all for our Twitter questions. So now we are getting to the anonymous questions on my app. So my first question I got is, what is your favorite song at the moment and why? From Taylor Swift's new album, The Tortured Poets Department, and it's Who's Afraid of Little Old Me. I don't know why. I mean, I do kind of know why. I just like really resonated with kind of the words of the song, and I don't know. I've just been listening to it on repeat since it came out. So there you go. Next question. Do you share feelings on the internet? To an extent. I do, to an extent. I will never answer or share anything that I'm not comfortable with sharing, but I try to be pretty open, and I feel like I am pretty open. So if it's something that I'm comfortable with sharing, then yeah, I do. Be honest, would you ever think of traveling alone? Short answer, in today's time, absolutely not. The next question, what is your favorite thing about streaming that you absolutely love? My favorite thing about streaming has been the sense of community that I felt. Just meeting and talking to so many like-minded individuals who I have something in common with, and the feeling of like having friends to do things with and getting to like bounce ideas off each other and just like come together, that has been my absolute favorite part with all of it, with streaming, the social media. That's my top favorite thing. Next question, does the perfume your partner uses matter to you? Not really. I mean, I'd like it to be a smell that I liked, but since I pick out most of my husband's cologne, it usually ends up being something I like anyways, so I guess kind of. Next question, are you a good texter? Again, short answer, no. I'm trash at texting. I try and get back to everyone, but more often than not, what ends up happening is I open it, I read it, and then I forget to respond. Calling myself out with that one. Next question, do you play COD? Okay, funny story. I actually kind of got away from playing any video games a couple years back, and the first game that really got me back into playing video games again was Cold War, Call of Duty Cold War. When that game came out, I played that and nothing else for almost 2 years. Now I don't really play COD at all anymore. But it got me back into gaming. So there's that. All right, next question. So this question says, hey, Umbra, for the Q&A, I wanted to ask what inspired you to start streaming in the first place. This is a great question. So what inspired me to start streaming? Well, I spent a lot of time playing video games, truthfully. And I spent a lot of time playing video games and with my friends too, and my husband, and everyone was just like, why don't you just start streaming? And then after that, I started really watching other people stream, and like I'd already kind of been into and wanting to like dip my toes into like content creation by just watching things like TikTok, and I've been watching YouTube since forever. And I don't know, so my interest kind of grew from there, and I spent so much time doing it already that I was like, let's just give it a go. But yeah, so that's what got me start streaming. All right, next question. If someone would approach you on the street, how would you like it? Short answer, I wouldn't. If I don't know you, I think, and I feel like this is like a pretty fair reaction. I feel like most people would react the same way. Maybe I'm wrong, but like if I don't know you and you just randomly walked up to me, that's weird. Don't do that. Next question. Plans for the weekend. Well, it's Saturday today, so we're already, well, it's the end of Saturday for me, so we're like well into the weekend already. But my plans for this weekend was to just sit down, film videos, edit videos, get ready for it next week. And of course, my husband has off. His last work day of the week is on Saturdays, so his weekend is Sunday and Monday. So um hanging out with him. But that's my weekends, and that's how most of my weekends end up going. Next question asks, in your opinion, is it okay to not have a lot of friends? As somebody who has never had a lot of friends, I think that it's perfectly fine. Would I love to have more friends? Of course, but making friends is hard. All right, our next question asks, would you say you sleep a lot and why? No, I don't sleep a lot. I sleep at odd times. My sleep schedule is not always the most regular, but I never actually am asleep for a very long time. I think the most I ever sleep at any one given time is for like 5 or 6 hours, and then I'm just awake, like regardless of if I have an alarm or not. The only time I've ever slept solidly for like longer than that is when I'm sick or I have a migraine. This question asks, favorite thing about your partner? I'm married, if you didn't know. My favorite thing about my husband is probably that we enjoy a lot of the same hobbies, and I can just nerd and geek out with him about the silliest things, and also that he makes it so that I feel okay when I just want to hang out with him and when I want to hang out and like do my own thing, because he also has his own hobbies and interests. And yeah, that's my favorite thing. My favorite thing is that we just have a lot in common and we have fun together, and that above all, we were friends first. And I feel like that's really important. And it's funny because I was actually talking to a friend of mine about this recently in their stream. And yeah, but that's my favorite thing. My favorite thing is that we have a lot in common, and we're also okay doing things independently because we do have those hobbies. This one is not a question. It just says, hey, I love you. Have a good day. I don't know who you are because it's on the anonymous app, but I love you too. And I hope your day was amazing. Our next question, do you save money well? Yes, actually. I used to be terrible with money management. Any money I would get, I would feel like it was burning a hole in my pocket, and I would impulse buy everything. Um, but over the past few years, I've gotten really good, and a lot of that has stemmed from just having to, and sometimes that's what it takes. No judgment from me. But now I like hate spending money on anything. So better now. Better late than never, right? Next question is, would you ever go vegan? Again, short answer, no. I just have no desire to. I like all the foods that I eat right now, and yeah, so that's that one. Question, I'm not entirely sure what they are asking, so I'm going to interpret the best that I can. But it says, what do you like on yourself? So again, I'm not really sure if they're asking me like what my favorite feature is, what my favorite clothes to wear are. I'm just gonna answer both and leave it at that. I'm very much a person who dresses for comfort, as you can see right now. At a lot of my streams, I'm usually just wearing comfortable clothes, a lot of t-shirts, sweatpants, leggings, those kinds of things. My favorite features on myself are I love my smile, my eyes, and my hair. I love being a ginger. How do you feel about people who have tattoos? I love tattoos. I have two myself. I've got, you can't really see it, but I've got this heart of sunflowers on my arm that I actually, this is a matching tattoo that I have with my best friend. And then I have this little crescent moon tattoo, also made out of flowers, um, that I have. So I love tattoos. I would have more tattoos if they weren't so expensive. This question is, how long have you been streaming for, and what's one thing that you're proud of? So, technically I've been streaming for, I guess, well, no, I don't even want to say that because, like, I'm gonna start with how long I've been consistently streaming for. And when I say consistently, I mean, like, I didn't take a break that was a year long. So I started streaming consistently back in, I want to say September or October of last year. So, like 8 or 9 months. Because I can't math. I'm going to say 8 or 9 months because we'll be at a year this fall. And what's one thing that I'm proud of? The thing that I'm the most proud of, honestly, is my ability to be as consistent as I have, and I've gotten better at that every single week. That is something that I have always struggled with, and I think that that's probably the thing that I'm most proud of, is that I've been able to stay consistent. I've made a schedule that works pretty well for me. I only miss a day here or there, and I've just gotten a lot better at it, and honestly, that has been the thing that has contributed, I think, to my growth the most. So that would be what I'm the most proud of. All right, we are on to our last question. All right, our last question. Are you into the idea of being an influencer? Yes, kind of. I mean, that's what I do, so I don't know. I don't know why I hate it, but I do. I hate the word influencer. I don't know why. Something about it I just don't like, but I guess that's what I do and what I am. Kind of. So I guess yes. Hesitant yes, because I love streaming and I love social media and all of that. So I'm gonna say a hesitant yes on that one. But that was our last question. Thank you so much to all of you who asked any questions. I hope I answered them satisfactory. This was really fun for me to do. I would be more than happy to do another Q&A in the future, and if you guys are interested in seeing something like that, or you do have more questions, please do put that in the comments. Let me know, DM me. But thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me. This was, like I said, this was really fun to do. And yeah, that's all from me. Like this video, follow, subscribe, do all the things. You want to see more from me, more like this. And yeah, without further ado, guys, that's all for me today, and I will see you next time. Bye.